Okay, what's going on YouTube? Is Donnie B all day. Rocking the classic Springfield Indians. Oh yeah! One of you might know what that is. So today we're going to do a little verses. And the reason I'm doing this verses today is because I pulled one out to carry. And I said, all right, well, let's see. Oh, it's not in my pocket because I pulled it out. I had yesterday been carrying my CRKT M16, which I really like, right? So I was carrying that yesterday, and I was like, all right, well, let me switch it up for today. And I was like, oh, you know what? I need a little blade for today because I had a few little things I knew I was going to be working on, and a small blade was going to come in handy. So I thought, which one do I want to grab? And out of my small blades, my sub 3-inch blades, these two are without a doubt 100% my absolute favorites. I love these knives. This is the Cold Steel Tuff Lite. This is the Kershaw Shuffle 2. You can tell by the rear. And both are just awesome. But I figured it's one thing to tell you, it's another thing to show you. So I'm going to do that. We're gonna show you, but first we're gonna go into the specs, and we're gonna start with the Kershaw. The Kershaw, obviously, as you can see, has a stone-washed Tonto blade, which has got a great shape. Even the swedge area, everything. It is double thumb studded, like a Rocky Mountain pattern here. The blade length is 2.6 inches. The blade steel is 8CR13 MOV. It is a black oxide black wash coating. The blade thickness is 2.7 millimeters. The closed length is 4 inches. The handle material is glass-filled nylon. The handle finish coating, it just has blank. Handle thickness is 0.4 inches. The overall length is 6.3 inches. Weight is 3 ounces. So that's what you have on the Shuffle 2, which I freaking love. So next we have the Cold Steel Tuff Lite, right? So this thing's got more of like a sheep's foot design. Great for cutting. You see, it is 2.5 ounces in weight. It is 2.75 millimeters thick. It is jimped. There is no thumb stud. There is a thumb hole. The handle is a 3.5-inch long Griv X. It is Japanese AUS 8 steel. It is overall 6 inches long. It does have a pocket clip, as does this one. And that's it for the specs. So now we can get rid of all that. Let's go over some of the features. As I already mentioned, this one has a thumb cutout right there, a little notch. Open it up. This one has thumb studs, so you can put your thumb in there and open it up. Both have pocket clips. Both have choils and secondary choils, finger grooves. Both are extremely comfortable to choke up on. Both are easy to cut with. The difference between them on the spine is this one is jimped, this one is not. However, this one has extra bends in it. This one is perfectly curved. So, I mean, tell me if that doesn't look like it's going to work. Obviously, we have texturing, and the texturing here is more like, I don't know, just like, not dimpled, but you see what it is, just a rough texture. Where this one is that Rocky Mountain pattern type texture. They both have areas for lashing, so you can carry. This one is jimped in the rear. This one is not. This one is a liner lock. This one is a spine lock. This one is has grooves along the upper part of the spine. This one has a internal body, so it helps for maintaining strength. This one is hollow. So, and neither have liners outside of the liner lock. So, what are we thinking about here? You have a forward frame, you have a reverse frame. Both of them work perfectly. The features this one has that this one doesn't have, or the main feature would be right here, this bottle opener. And when I bought this, that was like the main reason I bought it, because I was out and I had a bottle of what do you call it? The glass bottle Mexico Coke, and I needed to open it, so I went into the store and I bought a knife because that's what I do. And I was like, wow, I really like this knife, and it jumped right into my EDC pack list, and I was like, yep, love it. So now this one, as you can see, has very pronounced choils, right? This one has choils, but nowhere near the depth that these sit in. And when it comes to the understanding, comfortability in my own head, and knowledge that I'm not going to have an accidental slippage with my finger, this one gives me a better secure fit there. This one has a slightly longer handle, and it just gives you a little bit more, I don't know, it feels like, it's very slight, the difference, but it just feels like there's a little bit more to grab onto this way. This one feels like there's a little bit more to grab onto this way, right? So, and as far as overall grip, what's going to be better in the hand, they both, I'm going to call them equal on that. They both just sit really, really nice in the hand. I love both of them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up some video of these things being used. This one does have a longer cutting edge, of these two being used, and you will see how they perform, and then we're going to get into why I would choose one over the other. Hold on. All right, so I begin with this Kershaw, and you can see that cutting vacuum cleaner hose was just absolutely simple with this thing. I mean, it was just cut. The hard rubber, this little plastic deal, just no matter what part of the edge I used, it just didn't matter. We did a little rope cutting with it, and if I remember correctly, that was not a problem, as I just showed. Hold on. So it looks like I wanted to do a little stick batoning, and it's small sticks, but it's a small knife, and I just wanted to show that you can bang on this thing, going across the grain, with the grain, it doesn't matter. Just the little knife, it's little but big, right? It just handles so well, and being able to just constantly hammer into it and make nice, straight, beautiful cuts, it just shows that it's a pretty tough little guy, right? So here we go. We're doing a little processing and a little kindling making, and just because the blade is small doesn't mean you can't produce yourself some fire starter. You know, you're not going to be chopping any trees down with it, but when it comes down to getting that fire actually started, this thing's going to help you. So 5-yard throw with a little tiny mini knife, boom. Y'all see that? That thing is just good, and it actually stuck in really well. Let's check out this cold steel. So I remember I wanted to start with a little bit of cutting and just show you the ease that this knife tip, being that little point, it was so easy. So easy. The blade, because of the shape of the point, because of the shape of the overall blade, the point just dug right in and just carved straight through. It was awesome. So I pick up a nice little stick here, and I start just
shredding it. I mean, the pieces were flying off. It looked like little wooden snowflakes. It was freaking nice. The blade, it's just, it comes so sharp. It's so right, straight out of the box. It's just hard to find a small knife better than these two blades. They're just sweet. So something that's hard to do is to hold a stick, especially a small light stick, and single swat it. And this is hardwood, right? That's sycamore. Straight through while holding it in my hand. Now, this was a pretty cool little trick. I took a pretty thick magazine. I held it up, one swat, and it went through the entire thing. Just a little swat while holding it. Remember, this isn't something I put on a table and just hit. That was holding a flimsy piece of paper and swatting at it with a knife, and it went through that hard spine. So on the water bottle, I decided to try 2 hits before the bottle fell, and I was, hey, you can see me, I was completely successful in getting that done. The knife is just so sharp, so easy to wield. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Just like the Kershaw, it was cutting straight through the, what do you call it, vacuum cleaner hose, the hard rubber vacuum cleaner hose, no problem. So I got way into this knife, and I just started, oh my gosh, it just dove right through. I just started cutting everything. I mean, this review went on because I was just having way too much fun. Awesome, awesome little blade. I mean, I just literally cut a soccer ball in half after doing everything else with it. Sweet. So obviously it wouldn't be a review without me throwing it, and that right there was what the knife just did. It just hit, and it was awesome. Just awesome. Let's talk about it. All right, you guys saw it. You guys saw it. You've seen what there is to see between these two. I mean, how do I hold them up so you guys can get a good look? Look at, I mean, these two knives right here are two awesome little blades. I mean, comparable badasses is what they are. So now it comes down to, if I could only have one, which one would I choose? And I think my mind might have changed when I was going into this to now. I mean, it's so hard because I love them both, and both have different features. Like this one, the Kershaw, having that bottle opener, you don't realize how handy that is until you actually need a bottle opener. And I needed a bottle opener so bad I bought a knife for one. But the Tonto tip, that's just the strength all the way around. It's just hard not to say that this would be the one I chose. But, I mean, realistically, the cutting ability of this thing is just superb. It's superb. It's hard to think of a better tiny knife than the Tuff Lite from Cold Steel. It's really hard. And I'm talking, this is awesome. This is, if you are looking for a great sub 3-inch blade that has a bottle opener, this is the only knife you should be looking into. Only one. I mean, it's just awesome. But if I had to pick just one, I would find a way to open bottles, and I would keep the Tuff Lite, because it's just, it's hard to explain, because I don't want to make it sound like this is any lesser, because going into it, I was like, well, this is definitely my favorite sub 3. But the more I play with them, and more, I don't usually hold them both together. And the more I put my fingers in these choils, the more I like it, you know. And I never realized how small these choils were compared to this one. And these are good. You can see those work. But these just haven't. And I happen to be a fan of the spine lock. I like a good old-fashioned lock back, right? And just awesome. Just awesome. You hear that nice click, that nice powerful open. Let's see. And you hear the difference there. with this, it just snaps in and out of ready to go. So if I had to make a choice, which I'm so glad I don't, because I am never getting rid of this thing, but if I had to have just one, just had to, it would be the Cold Steel Tuff Lite. That's it. I'm calling it. Boom. Done. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.